Hi, this is ronMctube. We're playing the Hunter on PC. Today we're taking a look at the new bait system Overhaul and the introduction of the goat mineral feeder, which I've got in my hands right now. I've just brought 3 of them. I'm going to test them out and see how they perform. The current pricing of the goat mineral feeder is 220 EMS, which is the same as a bear bait barrel. You also need to purchase bait for the feeder, which is a mineral block. These are 30 EMS currently, or 479 GMS. All bait is the same price for all feeders. You can place the total amount of 3 feeders per reserve. So goat mineral feeders, you could place 3 on here as long as you haven't got any feral hog feeders on here. If you had 1 feral hog feeder on here, you can only place 2. So 3 is a total amount of feeders you can put on this reserve. Right, let's go fill it up. So I've arrived at where I'm going to put my first goat feeder. Here we go. I have done videos on goats already, so if you want to check some of those out, they're very interesting, especially the drive ones. So I'm going to fill it up. We've got a 4-hour real-time wait once you've filled it. Let's move on to attraction now. On the old system there used to be a percentage system, and basically you used to aim for 100% to know that your feeder was in the correct spot. That is no longer the case. Now there is an active status of feeder, which means the feeder contains bait and is capable of baiting species. Inactive, the feeder may or may not contain bait but is incapable of baiting species, and there's penalty. The feeder is currently disabled because of a baited animal was shot at the site. So if you shoot an animal near a baited feeder, you have a 30-minute penalty period. Let's move on to bait consumption, and this can be quite important. The bait consumption rate is 10 units every 24 hours real time, so it takes about 5 days for it to become empty from a full fill. Location, if you try and put a feeder in a location that's not very good, you won't be able to place it there. So they've sort of simplified it down. The thing is, with any new system, the community will gang together, put up thoughts, and there'll be plenty of posts about this, who's got the best locations, what actually works, because you never know when you add new things to new games. What's on the whiteboard and how it's supposed to work might not work as it's supposed to work in games. So over the coming months, I'm sure as people put up these sites and try different areas, we will come to a nice working system between us all. For those of you who want to see where I've put my feeders, I will add in the video description when the video is done the locations of all my feeders. Feral goats, nobody knows where they're going to be the best because nobody's tried them, they're brand new. We've jumped onto Logger's Point. I'm filling up my hog bait in my feral hog feeder. That was in a very good location, so it's going to be interesting to see how it compares from old to new. This is a very well known hotspot for feral hogs here. I have won a few competitions with it. I've had some very big feral hogs, rares, you name it, and a lot of people have got in this location. So I've filled that up onto my next one, which is going to be on hirschfelden. Got some more hog bait, and it's interesting to remember that you can fill that up with GMS from doing missions, so remember you ain't got to buy it. So that's that one filled. This is also in a very good spot, or used to be. Then on to red feather, got my corn, fill the black bear feeders up. Then we're going to move on to Val de Boaz, and I'm going to fill my brown bear feeder up. Now the thing is, it takes up to 4 hours before we can hunt these, and after 4 hours I'm going to go back to all the feeders and I'm going to check what they're like. Not sure what we're going to get in result wise. The old system you could get up to 20 like feral hogs or wild boar sometimes at the other feeders, but David Caledonia Blues has already said that we're not going to get that with this new system. The attraction might fill up quicker, so we might be able to use them more often, which is good for us, but that also means that you'll be probably getting through more bait probably as well, so it'll be interesting with what results we do get from this. Right, it's that time. It's been 4 hours. I'm going to go check my feeders now. First we're going to check the feral goat mineral feeders. I'll do them in order of what I first filled them, and we're going to go over because now they are active, and let's see what we can find. Right, we're just in front of number 1 feeder, and we have 2 goats. 2 feral goats are at my feeder and a butterfly. But I've had a quick look round, and these are the only goats I've spotted. Now the thing is, with this area, I know it is a goat hotspot because I have killed quite a few here, and I've done quite a few multiplayer lobbies, and we have seen stacks here. So there's only 2 here. Sometimes you can come and you'll see a group with 4 or 5 randomly in this area. So I don't know if it's a feeder position or it's just not that great at the minute, but that's not great for me. I know that if I drive that area, I'm going to get 5 to 10 goats easy on myself. So we're going to go to the second position. I've just fast travelled, and right in front of me, this is nowhere near a feeder. Here's loads of goats. Very typical, isn't it? No feeder here, and there's more goats here than you probably see at all of my feeders. This is a randomness sometimes of the game, but what it is basically I'm in an area and I fast travelled. That sometimes triggers animals near, or they'll spawn in that sort of area when you fast travel. But the thing about this is, they've just spooked. There's probably 9 goats here, 8, 9 goats. Thing is, what is the point of having a feeder if I'm going to get 2 or 3 out when there might be 8 or 9, like what's just happened there? So we're going to move on now to our second spot. Now all the goats have run off that way, and we're just going to check to see what's by this feeder. Now here we are. I'm on top of a mountain, and you look down into sort of a gully, into a plateau, and often if you come here with no feeders, whatever, there is often 5 or 6 or a group in this sort of area. Now I've been looking around the feeders there, and all I've seen is one solitary goat on his own on the left. He's not coming towards the feeder, he's just stood there. Nothing has come in towards the feeder. There's 3 feral hogs near it, that's it. There's not a sign of a feral goat anywhere near it. So apart from the one over the left, which you shouldn't say is going to it, there's nothing really there. So the first 2 have yielded next to nothing really. You could probably see a group of 5 or 6 just running around the reserve and probably get a better result than 2 feeders from what I've visited up to yet. And that's not random. That probably would happen a lot of the time. You probably get more just running around and just spooking them and then shooting them on the run or something like that. Now we've come to our third one. I've spotted 1 at the feeder, and there's 1 on the right, which doesn't seem to be paying any attention to the attraction or anything of the feeder. It's just walking away. So it's 2 in the area, 1 is on top of the feeder, that's it. So I've only done a few hunts since having these, but what has come to my realisation, I'm going to shoot this feral goat on the feeder just for the trophy shot. What has come into my sort of knowledge is what I kind of expected. I think that you're better off just driving the goats. If you want mass numbers, you can drive goats. Here's the goat. I'm going to take a trophy shot. You can drive the goats into certain areas like you would do anyone who does driven hunts, or if you see my other video I'll show you how to do that. You can drive goats and you'll probably end up with a lot more goats than any other method, and it costs you nothing. So I think a lot more people will just hunt goats like that. It may come down to feeder location, but the goats, like I say, they seem to spook a lot and roam around, plus you've got a 30-minute penalty. I think they'll adjust that very shortly, because there seems no real reason to be having these feeders for the goats when you could just run around or drive the goats and get a lot more animals for no cost. So most players will just do just that. They use the common sense and they do what is the easiest. So we moved on to feral hogs now, and I'm going to try this. Now this spot, as I described earlier, is a really good spot. A lot of people use it. I've won some comps from here. I've got my biggest feral hogs from here, 1200 plus, albinos, you name it. This spot is, like I say, it's like a legendary spot. A lot of people use it. So I'm hoping this is going to be very good. Before the update, it was pretty good sometimes, but sometimes it was a washout. So there was no like real predicting it. So here we go, and look, we have actually got quite a few pigs here. So that has actually pleased me. First time here, and look at that. That's after 4 hours. Normally that would take you like a week to get that kind of action on that feeder. So that has impressed me. Very pleased with that. That means I'll be definitely filling this feeder all the time now. Feral hogs are very popular amongst the community, so I can see a lot of people being over the moon about that. Like I say, it used to take about a week for your feeder to build the attraction. Now you can do this in 4 hours. 4 hours, that's a lot of hog hunting now. So Ron's got a big smile on his face over that, very happy. We're going to move on to Hirschfelden next, because I filled my wild boar feeder. That's in a very good position. We're just going to take a look now, and I'm just hoping that's going to be as good. But the wild boar always seemed a bit sketchy in the positions, and we've come here. This is a well-known spot. I've won trophies here before quite a few times, and some 1200 wild boar, and there's like 4 or 5. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's another one coming in sort of to it. So it's like 5, there's a roe deer, but 5 wild boar. So that field does have wild boar in it quite a lot as well, so you don't know what to say about that. Before, when we was trying to work out about the feeders, if he was messed up or whatever in the like before the update, I did 10 hunts once straight after each other, just to see the average, and the average was 5. So wild boar, I'm not sure at the minute. I have filled another feeder which is normally 100%, so I'm going to take a look at that later on. I will update this in a few weeks time, because obviously things are going to get tweaked, probably to suit the better. So we moved on to red feather now. I'm going to take a look at my barrel here. I've seen one bear. Oh, hold up, there's another one. Oh, there's another one in the background. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that as well. 4 hours and the first visit, 5 black bear. I'm happy with that, and that one looks quite a good one actually. I think that's the good thing about this. A lot of these used to build over a week. So if you get 5 or 6 bears at your barrel after 4 hours, that's pretty good, isn't it, really? Because you know, if you shoot one, yeah, you're going to get a 30-minute penalty. But then, once that passes, you can go back, and it's probably going to be quite a few bears again. So it don't take you a week to get it, and you've got quite a few bears quite regular. So that's actually pretty good. I did come with the intention not to shoot much, just to have a look what would be at my feeders. But this looks like quite a nice bear, so I'm going to shoot it. Get a 308 engraved rifle, a bit of action, and take a trophy shot. Right, here's the bear. Did look quite a nice one actually. Said up to 23, 24, but it was like 21.5, so still pretty nice bear. You could say it's pretty as well. And there's a barrel in the background, nice fluffy face. One of the bears is making a hoofing noise, like he wants to attack me. Let's move on to VDB, our final feeder. So here we are on VDB, and I'm just above my feeder for brown bear that I filled up earlier, and I've looked around, there's 1 brown bear. So here's Ron's opinion on what we've just been looking at. I enjoy how they've done the feral hogs. That seems to work very good. Lots of hogs at the feeder in a short period of time. Wild boar, not sure, because I know you can get about 5 or 6 on average with no feed at all in. I'll have to try another station for that. Black bears, enjoyed that. That seems to work very well in a short period of time, so definitely be using that a lot. Feral goats, see no point whatsoever in using any of those feeders. I will drive goats and get more, and just hunt them naturally, and probably end up with more goats, so that needs tweaking. Brown bear, 1 feeder I visited. I've seen 4 on the way there, I only got 1 actually baited. So that's been me, ronMctube, looking at feeder overall. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.